Today, we shall learn about the anomalous properties of nitrogen. Only nitrogen has the capacity to form multiple bonds among the two atoms. Purest form of nitrogen, that is by thermal decomposition, and can be liquefied to a colorless liquid. Nitrogen triple bond is there. So lot of energy is required to break three bonds there. What are the optimum temperature, pressure, what's the catalyst? Hello my dear students, welcome back to session 2 on the chapter P block elements. Last class we studied about group 15 elements, that is the trends in physical properties as well as the chemical properties. Today we shall learn about the anomalous properties of nitrogen and some of its compounds. Okay. So, anomalous properties of nitrogen. What do you mean by anomalous properties? That is, nitrogen show properties which is a little different from the other elements of the same group. Why exactly? That is because nitrogen has got smaller atomic size. That's the first element, isn't it? What is the elements which we have? Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and then bismuth, isn't it? That is down the group. As we come down the group, atomic size is increasing. That means the nitrogen is having a very small size. Okay, that's the first reason for anomalous properties. Next is they have high ionization enthalpy. Obviously, because the size is small, it is difficult to remove the electrons. Also, it has got half-filled orbital, p orbital. So, it is all the more difficult to remove the electrons. So, it has got a very high ionization enthalpy. Second thing. Third is they have high electronegativity as well. That means it is having a tendency to pull the electron towards itself. Okay. So, the electronegativity is also very high. Last is the absence of d orbitals in the valence shell. Unlike all the other elements, nitrogen does not have d orbital, isn't it? Nd orbital is not there, because of which it has having different anomalous properties. What are the different properties? How does it actually differ, ma'am? We will see here. That is, nitrogen forms p-pi multiple bonds with other nitrogen atoms or any other smaller atom because of its high electronegativity. That is, between the two nitrogen atoms, it can also form triple bond in which one bond is sigma bond, the other two are pi bonds. Similarly, it can form bond with carbon and nitrogen or with carbon and oxygen also it is possible. That is, multiple bonds it can form. This is shown only by nitrogen, and the other elements do not form multiple bonds among themselves, or they will only form 4 covalent bonds, that is single bonds are there. They do not show multiple bond between the two atoms. Only nitrogen has that capacity. Okay. Next is nitrogen molecule is a gas, whereas all the other elements are in the solid state. Only nitrogen is in the form of a gas. Okay, that is the second anomalous property. Then we have nitrogen molecules have triple bond, whereas phosphorus, arsenic, antimony and bismuth form only single bond between the atoms. I already told you all, only nitrogen has the capacity to form multiple bonds among the two atoms, whereas arsenic, you can see it has got single bond, phosphorus single bond, antimony also will form single bond between the two atoms. Okay, bismuth forms only metallic bond because it's a metal. Okay. Next is nitrogen can exhibit maximum covalency of +4. It cannot show +5 oxidation state. Why? Because it is not having the d orbitals. N-d orbitals, to be very specific. N-d orbitals is not there, thus it not show +5 oxidation state. Whereas phosphorus and other elements of group 15 have d orbitals, and hence they will form d-pi p-pi bond also, and it will show +5 oxidation state as well. Nitrogen can form only p-pi bonds. P-pi bonds it will form. It will not form d-pi bonds because it is not having d orbitals, nor it can show +5 oxidation state. Okay, so these are the anomalous properties of nitrogen, and the reason for these anomalous properties are its small size, high electronegativity, high ionization enthalpy, and absence of d orbital. So I hope you have understood about the anomalous properties of nitrogen. Next we will learn in detail about nitrogen or dinitrogen, nitrogen gas. Okay. First we are going to study about the preparation, that is laboratory preparation. In that, first method is when we take aqueous solution of ammonium chloride with sodium nitrite. NH4Cl is ammonium nitrite, NaNO2 is sodium nitrite. What is formed? Sodium chloride will be removed and NH4NO2, that is ammonium nitrite, will be formed. But this is highly unstable. Further, it will decompose to give nitrogen gas and water. During this reaction, small amount of NO and HNO3 are also formed, but to remove this, we pass the gas through aqueous potassium dichromate containing H2SO4 to remove HNO3 as well as NO, which is formed during this reaction. Okay, so nitrogen is prepared in laboratory using this method. There is one more method, that is by heating ammonium dichromate. What is ammonium dichromate? NH4 twice Cr2O7. So you are taking ammonium dichromate, and if you heat it, then that is heating, if we do, nitrogen gas will be liberated, Cr2O3 and water will be formed, and this is the second method of preparation of nitrogen gas. Next method is very pure, the purest form of nitrogen if you have to get, then thermal decomposition of sodium or barium azide. What is it? If you take barium or sodium azide, then you can obtain purest form of nitrogen, that is by thermal decomposition. Andre matte heat marta idivi, we are heating it again. What is barium azide? It is BaN3 twice. When I heat it, that is by thermal decomposition, you will get barium and nitrogen gas will be formed. Okay, so purest form of nitrogen, how is it obtained? Give a method of preparation of nitrogen to get the purest form of nitrogen, then you have to write this method. Okay, so there are total 3 methods of preparation of nitrogen. Next we have physical properties of nitrogen gas. We know that nitrogen gas is colorless, odorless, tasteless, and it is also non-toxic gas. Also, nitrogen can be liquefied to a colorless liquid, but it has got a boiling point of minus 195.8 degrees Celsius. That's a very low boiling point. It is a non-combustible gas and it does not support combustion as well. Then it is a lighter gas, that is slightly lighter than air, but sparingly soluble in water. You can see only 23.2 cm³ per liter of water at 273 Kelvin and 1 atmospheric pressure is its solubility. Okay, it has 2 stable isotopes, that is 15 and 14 isotope, N15 and N14. Okay, that's about the physical properties of nitrogen gas. Next we have the chemical properties. First one, it is chemically inert at room temperature. Why? Because of the high bond dissociation enthalpy. It has got a nitrogen triple bond is there. So lot of energy is required to break 3 bonds there. That is why at room temperature they are inert. They do not react at all. Okay, but then it directly combines with oxygen at a very high temperature like an electric arc to give nitric oxide. So nitrogen with oxygen, when electric arc is passed, you will get nitric oxide, that is at a very high temperature. It also combines with hydrogen in the presence of finely divided iron as a catalyst at 200 atmospheric pressure and also 500 degrees Celsius temperature to form ammonia. And this method of preparation of ammonia is called as Haber's process. What is happening? Nitrogen gas reacts with hydrogen gas at 500 degrees Celsius or 773 Kelvin at 200 atmospheric pressure. You can see it requires a drastic condition, okay, to give ammonia, and during the reaction the amount of heat liberated is minus 46.1 kilojoule per mole. That is an exothermic reaction, okay. So this is the second reaction of nitrogen. Also, at a very high temperature, it directly combines with some of the metals to form ionic nitride, and with non-metals it will form covalent nitride. What is it? It will form metals. With metals it will form which hydride? Ionic hydride, and with non-metals, with nitrogen it will form covalent nitrides. Okay, so you can see lithium with nitrogen, when it is heated it will form lithium nitride. Magnesium with nitrogen it can form magnesium nitride. Okay, nitrogen reacts with oxygen when electric arc is passed. Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen at 200 atmospheric pressure and 500 degrees Celsius to form ammonia. Third reaction is nitrogen can react with the metals or non-metals to form nitrides at very high temperature. Okay, three reactions of nitrogen is there. Next we are going to learn about ammonia. What is ammonia? NH3 is called as ammonia. Okay, now how is it prepared? First we are going to study the laboratory method of preparation. Okay, that is ammonia is present in small quantity in air and soil, is formed by decay of nitrogenous organic matter. So whatever small quantity of ammonia is there in air or soil, it is because of what? Because of nitrogenous organic matter decay. What is happening? That is NH2CONH2, that is urea which is there. Okay, with water it will form NH4 twice CO3, ammonium carbonate it will form. Further that will decompose to give ammonia, carbon dioxide gas is liberated and water is formed. So what is happening? Urea reacts with water to form ammonium carbonate, that further decomposes to give ammonia gas, carbon dioxide gas as well as water is formed. Okay, this is how small amount of ammonia is there in soil as well as air. On small scale, ammonia is obtained from ammonium salts, that is we take ammonium salts and treat it with caustic soda or lime. Caustic soda means NaOH, lime means CaOH twice. Okay, so you take ammonium chloride, treat it with CaOH twice, ammonia gas is obtained, calcium chloride is formed and water is formed. Okay, similarly you take ammonium sulfate salt, treat it with sodium hydroxide, that is caustic soda, you will get ammonia and water and sodium sulfate. Okay, so this is in small scale if we need ammonia. In large scale, that is the manufacture of ammonia is done by the process called as Haber's process. A very important question for your exam. It is very important. So how is ammonia prepared? We take nitrogen gas, mix it with hydrogen gas at 773 Kelvin, or I can write it as 500 degrees Celsius at 200 atmospheric pressure. These two will react to form ammonia gas. But for the reaction speed to increase, we require a catalyst, that is iron oxide, and promoter for the catalyst, potassium oxide and aluminium oxide is added. So what is it? Nitrogen with hydrogen is mixed in 1:3 ratio. You can see here stoichiometric coefficient is 1, here it is 3, isn't it? So nitrogen and hydrogen are mixed in 1:3 ratio, and it has to be passed over a catalyst, that is iron oxide, promoter, potassium oxide and aluminum oxide at 500 degrees Celsius and 200 atmospheric pressure. It will form ammonia. Okay, so according to Le-Chatelier's principle, this is the optimum temperature, pressure, and these are the catalysts which we require for the preparation of ammonia. Okay, earlier it was iron which was used as a catalyst with molybdenum as a promoter. Please do not write. Old textbooks, if you take, this is there, but don't write this. Be very careful. Okay, at present this is the conditions which you need to learn. Equation, what are the optimum temperature, pressure, what's the catalyst, what's the promoter. Okay, now we'll see how exactly it is prepared. I shall explain with a diagram, and you need to learn to draw this diagram as well. Okay, so first what we are doing is, we are mixing nitrogen and hydrogen. Nitrogen and hydrogen in 1:3 ratio. It is passed into the compressor so that the pressure will be increased to 200 atmospheres. Okay. After the compressor, it will come to the catalytic chamber, in which the catalyst iron oxide and the promoter aluminum oxide and potassium oxide is there at temperature of 700 Kelvin or 500 degrees Celsius. Okay, here now what will happen? Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen to form ammonia gas. So what we are doing, I'll repeat again up to here. First, nitrogen and hydrogen is mixed in what ratio? 1:3 ratio, passed into the compressor. There the pressure is increased to 200 atmosphere. Now nitrogen and hydrogen gas comes to the second chamber called as the catalytic chamber. Here we have the catalyst iron oxide and the promoter potassium oxide and aluminum oxide at 500 degrees Celsius. Here the reaction takes place to form ammonia. Ammonia is further passed into cooling chamber so that you will get liquid ammonia. But what happens is, only 15 to 20% of ammonia can be prepared in this condition. Only how much? 15 to 20%. That means there is lot of gas which is unreacted. We have nitrogen and hydrogen gas which is unreacted. So after cooling, ammonia what is formed will get converted to the liquid, but nitrogen and hydrogen gas will remain as it is, which is again pumped back to the pump, and then it is coming back again to the catalytic chamber. What are we doing? We are literally recycling the nitrogen and hydrogen gas which is unreacted, so that we can produce ammonia to a larger extent. Okay, so once again, you can write it in your own words if you know the diagram, and the diagram has to be drawn. Okay, so nitrogen and hydrogen is mixed in 1:3 ratio, passed to the compressor to increase the pressure to 200 atmosphere. Then it comes to the catalytic chamber, in which we have the catalyst iron oxide, promoter, potassium oxide and aluminum oxide at 500 degrees Celsius or 700 Kelvin. Here ammonia is formed. We get only 15 to 20% of ammonia. The remaining nitrogen and hydrogen gas are left unreacted, can be recycled after cooling off the ammonia gas to get liquid ammonia. Once it is recycled, it will come back to the catalytic chamber, so that further nitrogen and hydrogen gas can react to form ammonia. So this is Haber's process for manufacture of ammonia. It is really very important question for your exam. Okay. Next class we will be learning about properties of ammonia as well as about nitric acid, that is physical properties, chemical properties and manufacture of nitric acid in the coming class. So thank you my dear children. Stay tuned, stay focused.